Welcome to Office 24 by 7. Today, we are going to understand how to create a new contact when an inbound call is received and how to schedule an activity if the contact already exists through automation. Let us walk through the automation flow that I have already set up here. As always, every automation flow starts with a trigger, which is the FromObject node. Now, here's what happens inside the FromObject node. It detects all inbound calls landing on the virtual number I selected from the cloud telephony object in the communication module. And that's what kicks off this automation. Once the call lands, I want to greet the caller with a warm welcome. So I've enabled a message file node here. Since this is an IVR message, the message type is voice, and the voice type is set to caller. You probably know that all IVR audio files are stored against service numbers in the add-ons panel. So I simply picked the service number where my greeting file was mapped, and the system auto-populated the audio file drop-down for me. I just selected the right file, and the message was ready to go. Now, here comes the smart part. I've added an IfExist node. This node checks whether the caller already exists in our contact panel. The logic is simple. If the caller is new, we create a record. If the caller already exists, we create a follow-up activity. Let's look at how it's configured. My caller contacts are stored inside the contacts object in the sales module. So I pointed the IfExist node to load that object and check against the number field inside it. Why number? Because the phone number is what uniquely identifies the caller. The operator is set as does not contain, so that the system knows to create a new record only if this number isn't found in contacts. Now, all incoming calls capture the caller's number in this format: $caller_number. I entered that exact format here so the system could run the match correctly. As you know, every if node has two paths, yes and no. Let's follow the yes path first. If the caller number doesn't exist in the contacts, meaning it's a new caller, then I want to map the information into the contacts object. For this, I've used a field mapping node. This node basically connects the from object, which is the source, to the to object, which is the target. My source object here is live calls because that's where the caller number is captured. The target object is contacts. I've mapped the caller number field from live calls to the number field in contacts. Once the mapping is ready, I added a record node to create the new record in contacts. I've set the object as contacts, the record as a parent record, and the action as create. So, now whenever the caller number doesn't match with any record in the contacts, a fresh record is created in the contacts object. After this step, I simply ended the flow with an end flow node. Now let's follow the no path. This is when the caller number already exists in contacts. In this case, instead of creating a new record, I want to update that contact's status and schedule a follow-up or demo. So I've used a field update node to update the contact status field in the contacts object. I set it to contacted, which is a status I've already created in the object. Next, I wanted to assign a follow-up activity for the agent, so I added the schedule activities node. Here, I selected the activity type as demo. I had already configured this activity in the add-ons panel, but if you haven't yet, you can always add your own activity there, and it will show up in this list. Click the link above or in the description to watch the detailed video regarding the same. I named the activity Demo to Schedule, and I tied it to the contacts object. With that done, the flow ends here with the end node. So let's quickly recap what this automation flow is doing. When an inbound call comes in, the system plays a greeting and checks if the caller already exists in contacts. If the caller number is not in the contacts object, it creates a fresh contact record. If it's an existing contact record, it updates the status of the record to contacted and assigns a demo activity for the agent. And that's how we can build a simple yet powerful automation flow that not only creates records automatically, but also ensures that no follow-up is missed for existing contacts.